What's up, netizens? You're watching DarkStar, the only reaction channel that's as blind as a Batman's sidekick. My name's Anthony, joined by fellow reactioneers, Joey and Chris.
That was
What's up, guys?
lit. What's up, dude?
No, it wasn't Joey. He's just been gone for too long.
That's pretty good.
Thank you, Joey. Joey, you're fucking awesome, Chris. Chris, what did you think? Oh, wait, did you think I was a god pro with the puns?
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's gonna... Tony is a fucking god pro with the puns, alright?
Thanks, Chris. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's going to be a pretty good battle, guys. Nightwing, Daredevil. It's a real death battle. Now, I haven't watched the Daredevil TV show on Netflix.
It's lit.
Because I think Daredevil is stupid. He's a dumb character.
You're stupid, man.
I mean, I feel like you think that about a lot of Marvel characters, but yet you tell me all the time you hold Marvel like so fucking high. But like every time I talk to you, Iron Man's fucking stupid.
I don't hold it.
Fucking stupid.
I don't hold Marvel that high. But I mean, those are the only two characters that I really don't like. I don't like Vision very much either.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage doesn't count, dude. He's the fucking
Iron Man,
worst.
Iron Fist.
I don't mind Iron Fist. I never watch it, but Iron Fist isn't a dumb character.
Well,
Luke
maybe you
Cage.
should watch
Luke
it, 'cause
Cage
you
isn't a
might
dumb.
change your opinion.
Luke Cage isn't a dumb character either. But those episodes we watched for the channel, they were so fucking bad. I mean, it's maybe the worst show I've ever seen, dude.
The episode with the bazooka, shit got real.
That was
dude.
that was the last thing I saw was the bazooka thing. That was the first time
Our
anything
reaction to
happened in
that,
the show.
phenomenal, dude.
Before that, it was so bad. I mean, it's legit one of the worst.
You
fucking
said the worst show
it's
ever.
so
like worse
bad,
than
dude.
Breaking Bad to you?
Those yes. Breaking Bad as a show is better than those episodes I watched for sure. It's not even close. I don't know. I'd like to think that since everybody I ever talked to says Daredevil's a good show, that I would enjoy watching it. But Daredevil's just such a shitty character that I fucking have a really tough time enjoying it. I feel like.
I think season 2 is better than season 1.
I agree. But I like them both.
Yeah,
They did it really
good.
well.
My biggest issue that I'm having right now, and someone made a fucking, oh my god, what was it? Oh, so my biggest issue that I have with the
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Okay.
I bet
So what
you
were you
fuck that
saying?
hard, dude. He said how much he loves Nightwing. It's his favorite character.
That's definitely not what I was talking about. Anyways, what I was saying was one of the things that I fucking hate about the Netflix shows for fucking Marvel, like they're good. I think they're good, the majority of them. But is that it's like, I get it. Every superhero didn't start in their costume. I got it. Like they had to make some fucking janky trash bag piece of shit before they get to where they're at. I don't think we need to see it. I don't think we need to see it. And I also don't think we need to see it for how long we see it. The amount of time Daredevil ran around with a goddamn fucking handkerchief over his fucking face.
Ridiculous.
And he looked so stupid for like the entire first fucking season. It was dumb.
I will say this about Daredevil. A lot of my I don't really know a lot about Daredevil. A lot of my bias comes in from Ben Affleck's movie, which was so horrendously bad that it's ruined Daredevil for me. So maybe that's some of my bias.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil is a fucking gift from God, dude.
So part of that comes from that too. Probably.
I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
The thing about Nightwing is,
Oh yeah, Nightwing, Daredevil.
but I mean, would Batman? Okay, Batman versus Daredevil. Objective opinion. Who do you guys think would win a death battle?
I think Batman pretty handily.
Wait, hold on. Batman and who?
Daredevil. Batman's like mastered fucking hand-to-hand combat. Daredevil's dope, but Batman's mastered like every fucking hand-to-hand combat there
I feel
is.
like, because like I personally feel like
But
Nightwing
Daredevil's went up against like the hand and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like the hand would put up pretty fucking.
I didn't think about that
I
actually.
believe the hand would put up fucking good fights against Batman. I mean, and they know a shit ton of martial
But
arts.
did he
Yeah,
ever talk to the
Batman
hand?
I'm fucking done with you, dude. Just fucking see yourself out. Me and Joey will finish this episode. Just hit play and walk away.
I just feel like Nightwing is basically just a shitty version of Batman. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
so I feel like if Batman could beat him, Nightwing should have a pretty good shot.
I think Daredevil's gonna win this, but I like Daredevil.
I like how it's like Tony approached the conversation like he actually had like some fucking good shit to say, and then he got cut off immediately. Yeah, cut off immediately, and then you bring it back. It's like I was saying that Nightwing's a shittier version of Batman.
I mean, I feel like that's just facts. I mean, so honestly, my pool of knowledge is very limited and biased, but in my opinion, Nightwing will win as of right now. Before I see any of their feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know, man. Hey, like I said, this is gonna be hard. I don't think I'm actually gonna make any kind of prediction until after I see the feats. But this one, I'm probably gonna try to play by the feats since I like both of them so much. I'm gonna probably have to play by the feats.
Now, this is one that Chris probably doesn't even want to watch because I remember correctly, they don't have like any extra like superhuman superpowers. They're just normal people, and Chris has explicitly said that people without superpowers shouldn't be in death battles because they're shitty death battles. So
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
Joey doesn't want to, or Chris doesn't want to watch this one anyway. But
That is true. I did
we'll
say that. That
fucking-
is on record. That is 100%
roll
on
on that
record.
one. But no, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Nightwing uses a staff or something, right?
Yeah, broken half.
Yeah,
Right.
that'd be dope.
Well, I mean, he doesn't just break his staff in half.
It's used. It's two pieces.
Daredevil's got the same thing.
Same
As
thing.
his has the
It's just
cable in it, so he can use it
Yeah.
like nunchucks and shit like that, and use it to like get around. You know, like Spider-Man. I'm dead serious.
Not
mean,
that.
Joking about that.
Not like Spider-Man, but
Not 100% like Spider-Man, but he'll fucking throw it up at the top of a
Yeah, he
building. It'll
will.
wrap around.
Grab
He'll fucking
shit.
come
Yeah.
fly
It's got.
up it.
How does it fit like that?
What?
I mean, how thick is this fucking thing? How does it have enough
Joey,
fucking
it's got a
length?
30 foot-
Tony,
got a 30
Tony.
foot air control cable inside of it. Is what it says. Can be used as a grappling hook.
Okay, so we're not talking about like chains, like a.
Got me in chains.
Isn't that what nunchucks usually have?
Well, it's got like a little chain like this connecting the ends.
I mean, basically, two wooden sticks connected to each other. I mean, could be considered nunchucks, like regardless of
Yeah.
what holds them together.
This thing's got all kinds
I
of
got
shit.
you,
I've heard
but
that's like-
normally
yeah,
when I
it's
think
like all
nunchucks,
kinds
I
of
think with
shit.
like the links, like
Okay,
between 'em or
gotcha.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends on which Nightwing they're doing. Because there's been multiple Nightwings, am I right? I feel like there's been multiple Robins that have taken up the mantle of Nightwing.
Dick Grayson for sure. Let me see.
Because Dick Grayson's part of the Flying Graysons. Like they were
Yeah.
an acrobatic family. So
Nightwing,
it's Dick Grayson.
Richard Grayson.
I mean, they're probably going to use the most popular one, I would think.
Which would be Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson.
And I think
Well, because I know one of the Robins become Red Robin. Or Red Hood.
He has an alter ego named Chris. He has an alter ego named Chris Kent, who wears an outfit that looks like Superman.
his
So-
superpower is giving unlimited fries, limited refills on
Dude, this is
fries.
like real shit. He has an alter ego named Chris Kent, and it looks like Superman. He's got the Nightwing symbol on his fucking chest, like the Superman symbol.
I mean, we might as well just watch. I don't know enough about Daredevil, so we might as well just watch this analysis and then we can
Yeah.
talk about it after.
Let's just assume he's ready, huh? It's 2018,
In a
Tony.
world where
Can't assume anything.
superhumans can fly through the sky or lift buildings over their head, it takes a lot more than a pair of tights for a mere mortal to stand out from the crowd.
But these guys have it covered.
Nightwing, the original protege of Batman.
And Daredevil, Marvel's man without fear. He's
Ooh.
with an iron boomstick.
That
And
dude's
it's
got
our
double
job to
Ds.
analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Double D's on his chest. dude.
What was
This is
that?
like
In
live
modern
action?
times,
Yeah, well, look,
the
like it right there.
questionable whimsies of the circus are all but dead.
And good riddance, because the world doesn't need any more clowns.
Yet
I mean,
in
I
its
guess they
heyday,
could do
few
live action. I
performances
mean,
could
it's
top
not
the
like they have any
trapeze mastery
superpowers.
of the Flying
Yeah.
Graysons.
Well, until a mobster cut their cord on life short. Literally.
But they had a son, young yet just as talented as them. Orphaned and alone, all
I feel
seemed
like Hot's
hopeless
always
for
Commissioner
Dick
Gordon to the
Grayson.
rescue whenever it's a
Until
fucking...
he scored
He's
the
got an
tallest
orphan
buster
alert, dude.
man
An
of
orphan
freaking
radar.
The goddamn Batman.
And under the Cape Crusader, Dick wasn't just a son, he was a sidekick. A
Honey, what did you do
superhero.
at work today?
He
Wait,
was
there's an orphan on the
Robin.
loose.
I've
gotta go.
You got knocked the f*** out.
Robin spent many years kicking bad guys around the back alleys of Gotham City with his new dad. Who could forget the time he crushed Blockbuster under a truck, or when he whipped out that shark repellent? Never leave home without it, kids.
But then Batman suddenly realized, you know what? Bringing kids into battle is actually a bad idea. So he fired him, and then promptly forgot this little revelation.
Holy time to update the resume, Batman. Probably for the best, though. I mean, come on. The kid didn't even have a proper pair of pants. What's your problem, Bruce? Whoa! The mouth on this one.
Actually, it was for the best, though not in the way Batman hoped. Inspired by a story of an ancient Kryptonian superhero, Dick took to the streets by himself with a brand new uniform and a brand new name. From then on, he would be known as Nightwing.
If a suit's name is ass, then this is my kind of deal, dude.
Gotta hand it to Bats. He sure knows how to mold a kid into a criminal-crushing machine. With expertise in taekwondo, ninjutsu, aikido, and a bunch of other styles, Nightwing is one of the finest martial artists in comic book history.
No doubt helped by his world-class acrobatic skills. He is one of only 3 people on Earth who are capable of performing a quadruple flip.
And between the fancy schooling he got at Hudson U and being a founding member of the Teen Titans, he's got brains and brawn. Plus a whole lot of weapons.
Nightwing's suit is lightweight, bulletproof, and makes virtually no sound when moving. The blue colors even turn black while in the dark. His mask features a holographic UI, complete with night vision and a spectral analyzer.
He's rocking utility belts on his wrists and ankles full of lockpicks, smoke pellets, and staples that are so strong they can support the weight of a freaking helicopter.
He also carries a rebreather, grapple gun, and wingdings.
The calcs.
That weird alien font with all the shapes? Oh, I'll figure out your secret one day, Wingdings.
No, more like the Batarangs, or thrown shurikens. The standard Wingdings are extremely sharp, but he also carries dulled, ultrasonic, and explosive variants.
But let's get to the good stuff, like his 2 screaming sticks.
Eskrima sticks.
That are great for beating the shit out of people. And they'll be pretty shocked when they find out Nightwing has wired them with 50,000-volt tasers.
Despite their falling out, Nightwing clearly remains inspired by the gadgets and skills of his baddie mentor. And he's put them to
out who's
good
gonna win
use.
this.
He's strong enough to punch people through
super
solid
shitty.
walls and smash through a sheet of ice from underwater and hold back the 19,000 pounds per square inch bite force of an orca.
And while breaking a
Damn.
car window doesn't sound impressive, Nightwing's done so while the car was underwater and therefore pressurized. To pull this off, he needed to impact the glass with over 24,000 pounds per square inch.
He's quick enough to dodge point-blank gunfire, skilled enough to leap through the city while blindfolded, and tough enough to survive falling off a building.
Generally, any unsafe landing over 21 feet
Damn,
is guaranteed
fuck
to break bone.
And Nightwing dropped 140 feet onto his butt, and he was fine. And we've all fallen on our tailbone. That shit sucks.
Tony, you still do
At one
parkour, dude?
point, Nightwing spent
do.
96 hours patrolling city
I do.
streets
Fat
looking for
person
the
parkour is where I
Two-Face,
walk from
and an additional
my
5
chair
or
to
more
my
hours
bed.
collecting evidence. A 2010
I
study
land
on
on
sleep
my back
deprivation noted that
before he
72
actually gets
hours
into
without
bed.
sleep leads to a number of horrendous side effects, including hallucinations.
But when it was time to leap between blimps hundreds of feet in the air and give Two-Face the beatdown he deserved, you couldn't even tell Nightwing was in desperate need of a nap. And don't forget, he was trained by the #1 detective in the world. He's good enough to
Sherlock
solve a
Holmes?
kidnapping with a
I didn't know
single
who's in
look
there.
at the scene of a crime.
Even more impressive, he once performed a skydive at 930 miles per hour, which took all of 15 minutes. That puts his starting position around 25 miles high and free-falling faster than the speed of sound. For reference, real-life Austrian athlete Felix Baumgartner performed a similar great leap from 24 miles up, hitting a maximum speed over 800 miles per hour. To pull this off, he needed a specialized suit to protect him from the extreme cold, unfiltered sunlight, and lack of oxygen. One mistaken movement could have put him into a rapid spin, rendering him unconscious and causing his blood to boil.
And Nightwing just did it without any of that. Damn.
He's certainly tough, but he's had his fair share of losses.
It's almost
His
like
scarred
he had
body is
comic
proof
book
of that.
character.
He
And
had some sort of
eventually, him
suit.
and Bats finally
How do they
made
know
up.
that the suit
He
can
even
do
took
anything?
up the cowl himself when Batman was out for
Made
a
the
while.
right holes on there,
Nightwing
yeah.
is one
dick
superhero
was
who
out
will
and everything.
always come out on top, along with his partners, Jim and Juan.
Dick
What?
was naked.
I mean,
No
it's
worries.
right
If
here
he
in the
loses,
intern's
they'll
note.
bring it up.
Who's Jim
Well, he
and
lost,
Juan?
but you know that
Oh,
suit he was
that's,
using, he
that's the
actually
names
survived
these
that. The
ladies
suit
gave his
protected him from all that
buddies.
shit.
Oh, well,
Specialized
guess you
suit.
can't argue with the ass on that dick.
I mean,
Hey, hey, hey,
I haven't used that name
woo!
in a long time. Call me Nightwing.
Oh my god. Oh, that was fucking epic.
Before he became the man without fear, Matthew Murdoch was the son of a professional
Murdoch.
boxer named Battling Jack.
Sounds like a badass, but Jack actually boxed because it was the only thing he was good at.
He
And
got
he needed
paid to
money to get his
lose.
kid through school
You know
so
what I
that
mean?
little Matt would have a better life than he did. Oh, what a good dad. He's punching people for his kid.
Matt still trained in secret with his father's exercise equipment, molding himself into a powerful fighter and an expert acrobat.
Until one day.
This new athletic ability would come in
fucking
handy.
radio
He wasn't
Witness
born
the
blind?
man walking right in
Oh.
front of a
No.
speeding truck.
What?
Feeling especially heroic that day, Matt
Radioactive
dove
toxin,
in to push
dude.
the guy to safety, but the truck crashed, sending some weird
I mean, that
acid stuff
sucks.
flying all over Matt's face.
From that day forward,
Fucking-
Matt was permanently blind.
Bruce Banner becomes a giant fucking killing machine, and this kid just goes
Still,
blind.
Matt did
Like,
not give up on the dream his father wanted. He earned his degree with flying colors and founded a law firm with his friend Father
One of
Nelson.
these two got
Things were
fucked.
actually looking up for him.
Well,
I mean-
except for when his dad was killed by a
the
mobster
Hulk
for
has the
ruining a
gamma
rigged
radiation.
boxing
The kid got
match.
hit straight in
Because
the eyes
you can't
with
be a
fucking acid.
superhero unless you've
Yeah,
lost
it's
your
like
parents.
it was
Matt was
like some
distraught.
kind of toxic shit.
His world had come crashing
it's
down
acid.
around him,
They literally
and he
said it was
couldn't
acid.
even
Oh, was
see
it?
it happen.
Yes.
But he could hear it.
Acid that didn't burn his
smell
skin,
it,
just burned his eyes.
feel it.
Yeah, 'cause turns out that radioactive goop didn't just blind Matt, it gave him superpowers. So he dressed up like the devil himself and literally scared the mobster to death.
And so, Daredevil was born.
wait, he does actually have superpowers?
Many blind
No.
people, particularly those born with it, experience a rewriting of the brain
Yeah,
to
that I
their
knew.
other senses, somewhat making up for their lack of sight.
Something similar happened to Daredevil, except like 100 times greater.
His touch became so sensitive, he can tell when a person is close to him simply from the disturbance in the air. His ears can pick up the faintest of sounds, from the slightest movement of an enemy to the rising heartbeat of someone who's lying. His taste can detect each separate ingredient in any recipe,
Oh,
including
I remember
poisons,
that.
and his
That was
nose
fun.
can track you down like a bloodhound.
Who needs eyes when you can sense everything around you to the smallest detail? But he couldn't use his blind powers as well as he does without the training under a super secret warrior named Stick. No relation.
With Stick's help, Matt mastered several fighting styles, including ninjutsu, Krav Maga,
that's
and
great.
Kung Fu.
And get this, Stick had basically the same blind powers as Daredevil.
Whoa. Silk sheets.
Thanks to him, Matt learned how to hone his senses, to know and maneuver through his surroundings even better than those with working eyes. He also learned how to tap into something called an atom-induced radar sense.
Like that thing that bats do when they bounce sound around to see in the dark or whatever.
Sort of. That's sonar, or echolocation, and he can use it too. But thanks to his radioactive origins, Daredevil can actually emit electromagnetic energy waves from his body, which bounce off objects in his vicinity, painting a picture of his surroundings in his head. This means he doesn't even need sound to find and take down an opponent.
So he's got a ton of ways to make up for his eye problem, but he's also got some awesome gear to help him take out the bad guys. Like his devil suit that's bulletproof, shockproof, flameproof, and a perfect backup plan whenever he forgets to prep for a Halloween party.
For combat, he built a versatile weapon out of his most innocuous possession, a walking cane.
By day, he's a feeble blind man slowly tapping across the road. But by night, he whips out the horns and snaps his cane into a high-tech billy club.
The club houses a cable, hidden blades, a recording device, and exploding pellets.
It can even turn into a boomerang. Man, where do I get one of these? You don't have to be blind, right?
No, but you shouldn't. You already destroy everything without a super club.
Well, I'd need to practice to throw it as well as he does. You know how Captain America tosses his shield all over the place and it always seems to come back to him? Well, Daredevil does the exact same thing. And he can throw it hard enough to bust concrete. He's super strong. He can lift a 400-pound barbell and chuck it as casually as when I toss a beer away if it's time for a new one.
He's quick enough to deflect bullets with his billy club and skilled enough to bounce one back so it killed the man who fired it in the first place.
Bet that guy wasn't expecting that. It looks like he's firing a
Reaction
Glock,
time
which
on
has a
point.
muzzle speed of about 1,200 feet per second.
At just
You
20
can't
feet
deflect
away,
bullets, Tony?
Daredevil had to react within
Close
17
your eyes.
milliseconds to avoid getting hit. And while he couldn't survive a shot to the head, he's powered through a heck of a lot when compared to the average human.
He's survived zaps from Electro, whose power can burn through metal. He's fallen multiple stories and walked away, powered through a napalm explosion, and been hit by a 5-foot bar swung by the Ox, who can tear through metal cages and lift more than 800 pounds.
His keen control over his nervous system has also helped him resist tranquilizers and toxins, but his super senses are also his biggest weakness.
They may give him way more field awareness than most anybody else, but if his opponent knows how his powers work, they can overload his senses with an extremely loud noise or a really bad smell. Like if you had a truckload of screaming skunks you could throw at him. That'd probably work, right?
But even with those weaknesses, Daredevil is a fearsome foe for anyone who would face him, even if he can't see them.
He even managed to balance his life of law and the crime fighting, and became a huge success on his own. Papa Boxer would be proud.
I'm gonna kill you! Take your shot.
I mean, they both seem impressive for the fact that, you know, they're not super powered, but I feel like Daredevil's got like the biggest as far as the weakness goes. So I feel like Nightwing should win, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick on my Marvel bias. So roll a Daredevil, double D's.
I guess I'm gonna be pretty close, honestly. I'm probably gonna go with Nightwing just because they did a lot more shit with like fucking numbers with him. Shit he's accomplished. He fell further than Daredevil did, and hitting the car with the 2,100,000 PSI was probably pretty impressive. And the best thing that showed for Daredevil was blocking the bullet with this thing. I'm probably gonna lean towards Nightwing. Be a pretty close fight.
I did not get the same impression. I think Daredevil's gonna win pretty handily. I think that pretty much everything that they had Nightwing doing in his analysis, like the shock from his whatever weapon, is countered by the fact that they said his suit was
Shock absorbent.
shock absorbent, and they did show him get attacked by Electro, and then he
Yep.
survived that anyway. And that was like apparently his suit didn't fucking protect him from that. He still survived it. So even if the suit wasn't just fucking absorbing it, which it should, then apparently that won't kill him anyway. Although I would guess that it would capacitate. But the suit's in it, and obviously he's not going to be anywhere near that. That thing's not going to be anywhere near as powerful as Electro. So I feel like that basically takes that out of the equation. I do feel like Nightwing has better like physical stats than Daredevil. Like that's basically what they gave him. Like for example, surviving a giant fall, and just the various different things that they did him. But almost everything that I saw from Daredevil's thing showed that he had more skill, like deflected the fucking bullet back at him or whatever in like a fraction of a second. Was nuts. So I'm just not sure that he can actually hit him. One of the biggest things for Batman and Nightwing and those types of characters is their stealth, and in my opinion, that's completely negated by the way that Daredevil reacts in fights, because he doesn't give a shit about anybody hiding in the shadows or any fucking stealth shit like that. He can find you regardless of sound, regardless of pretty much any of that different stuff. And his reaction time's crazy fast. So I don't know. I just feel like so many different things came up where it just felt like Daredevil countered Nightwing so hard in so many of them. And even though I felt like Nightwing might have had a couple better feats here and there in terms of like overall physical stats, I just didn't see anything he had that countered Daredevil. And I don't think the physical stat. I don't know. They use numbers and calcs a lot, so I can kind of, if he wins, it's going to be because of that.
Hold on.
But
one
if
second.
it's skill based, I think it's going to be
Hold on,
Daredevil.
someone's-
Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah.
I know you're there. You can leave now, or I can drag you out. It's your choice.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots, especially looking at the Prince of Darkness. But that case over there is part of an investigation I've been working, so why don't you hand it over, and I'll get out of your horns. Is that a no, then?
Oh my god.
It'll be interesting to see how they decide to end a death battle with the live action.
Yeah.
And I've seen live action death battle stuff before or whatever, but it'll be interesting to see how Screw Attack handles it.
The fuck is that?
His helmet.
Damn.
Just letting him pop back in place, huh? I like it.
Right.
Better.
Ow.
Fucking bullshit. I hope Daredevil wins, actually.
I like how he called that bullshit. They literally talked about how that was one of his
did.
fucking abilities.
These shocking things are kind of lit.
That's not gonna do anything.
I like how Tony's saying this as if like he's giving Nightwing a hand up. Like, bro, dude, that's not gonna help. Oh,
Oh shit.
I saw blood. That had to hurt. They talk about how fast that thing comes out.
I wish I could see the look on your face.
Me too.
Oh shit.
What a detective, man.
Damn.
Holy shit.
See you in hell.
Well, I did kill him.
Well, I'm happy. I mean, I was wrong, but I'm happy.
What the? Was that live action? We can do that now?
This was possibly one of our closest matchups to date. Despite lacking a true superhuman physique, both Nightwing and Daredevil were extremely skilled and deadly fighters.
When it came to overpowering each other, they were pretty dead even. Sure, based on their previous feats, we can tell that Nightwing seemed a little stronger and more acrobatic, and Daredevil seemed a little quicker to react.
But these differences were extremely minimal. It's actually feasible that these two could pull off almost all the exact same feats.
Keyword being almost.
Right, with such similar physical abilities, this really came down to their arsenal, Nightwing's gadgets and Daredevil's superpowers. At first glance, these could simply counter each other, making this match completely even again. For example, both could take advantage of the dark with night vision or super senses, but only one set was perfectly suited to actively disrupt the other.
Remember Nightwing's scanning mask? There's no way he couldn't notice those electro waves Daredevil's radar sense was sending everywhere. Even Mr. Magoo could have figured out something was weird here, let alone the guy trained by frickin' Batman, you know, the greatest detective in the world.
Through a little hand-to-hand action, Nightwing was certainly clever enough to recognize Daredevil's reliance to sound over sight, and had the perfect counter-weapon, the ultrasonic wingding.
Look, I'm sure there were several possible scenarios where Daredevil could have pulled off the win, but more times than not, Nightwing takes this thanks to his athletic skill, detective training, and high-tech gadgets. All he had to do was dare to wing it.
The winner is Nightwing.
Like I said, I knew that was gonna be what came in to fuck him over. Was the fucking they figure out that he's blind and over hypersensitive. So
I saw something at the end of this, so let's go ahead. Yeah, see, that's why I'm confused with new rules.
Let's go.
Oh shit! Oh shit! We got the rematch coming.
Sonic.
This thing came off the camera
okay.
when I was setting it
Wanna
up.
tell
Are
us the
you
rules,
telling
huh?
me every single time you
With
set up the
new
camera?
rules. We're not gonna tell you what they are, though.
That's pretty epic. That's pretty hype. Oh no, fucking. Sonic won the first one. Man, we'll have to wait and see, dude. I'm leaning Mario right now in my prelims. But anyway, back to Nightwing and Daredevil. You were saying, Chris?
Oh, I was just saying that I had said to begin with that Nightwing was most likely going to win due to the fact that he could overload Daredevil senses.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Didn't
It
take that
doesn't
into.
surprise me.
I didn't
mean,
know that.
that's-
Is that? I didn't know that was a thing for him. Like I understood he heard like better, obviously, or whatever. But I did. I did they show him have a
I
weakness to
personally-
that in his analysis?
Well, yeah, they said that in his analysis.
I
that
must
if
have
his
missed that.
sensors get overloaded. Yeah.
I totally
I mean,
missed
I'll
that.
put it this way. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest Daredevil fan in the world. I mean, it's not. So, I've read comics with with Daredevil in them, but I've never once read anything where they referred to his senses
As
as
superpowers.
superpowers. I've
Mhm.
never once heard that in my life. Not saying it hasn't happened. Never once heard that.
Right.
Every time I've ever heard about his senses, it's solely for the fact that because he lost his sight,
Right.
his other senses got stronger,
Yep.
and he noticed it as a kid and focused on honing those senses to make them as strong as possible. Never once have I ever heard them call it
Which
a
makes-
super power.
Which makes sense too, because that stick guy they were talking about basically had the same abilities as him, and they didn't say
Yeah.
if he was fucking dropped in acid or anything like that. So I'm a little confused about that as well. I think they're just that's when all I remember from that awful Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck was that he basically just got enhanced senses because I mean I feel like that's even where I first saw that concept is from that movie, because obviously that's like a commonly known concept that if you lose one sense then your other senses get stronger or whatever. And when I was like a little kid, I'm pretty sure that's the first time I ever came across that concept was from that movie. So I was pretty surprised to hear them call them superpowers as well.
Not upset either way. I would rather Deadpool. Fucking goddamn it, Daredevil win, you asshat. But
I mean, I'm glad Nightwing won.
I go either way personally, but
I can
I just
see
don't
if he can
remember.
overload his senses. I completely missed that in the analysis.
yeah, because basically, like the way that it's been made out in the comics and shit like that is like, so he could hear all these things super far away and shit like that because his
Right.
senses are so heightened. But like, if someone was to be close within his radius and then shoot a very very loud noise, they could overpower him. And like the first time I ever
Yeah.
saw that, Deadpool were hunting down somebody. And fucking Deadpool was double crossing the whole time, and he didn't know that. So whenever they finally found the chick, because Deadpool's trying to help her, and Daredevil wanted to turn her in, Deadpool literally is all like, "Sorry, but this is where it ends, horns." And he pulls out a fucking little device and presses play, and it shoots out this loud ass fucking music, and fucking Daredevil instantly fucking hits the ground and starts screaming, and then he just
That's-
walks away.
That's a common thing for people that have like super hearing stuff like that.
Right.
is for them
Because
to
it's
get hit
supposed to
with it.
distort his
Even
vision.
in My Hero Academia, the one chick, the ear chick,
Yep,
the black
exactly.
chick or
yeah.
whatever.
Well,
she has
with
that
him,
happen to
it's
her.
even worse because it's supposed to distort his vision as well. I
Mhm.
mean, it was like that in the movie too. Even though the movie was terrible, it was like that in the movie too.
Well,
'cause
he's not
whenever
able
the
to
dude
do
started
that
hitting the shit.
relocate shit, echo relocate type shit. So.
He's not able to do the fucking with the
Electro,
radius and shit coming
yeah.
off, but he's talking about how like with his heights being or his other senses being heightened, that he can still see, and it
Yeah.
shows it in his vision. Like whenever him and what's his face Kingpin are fighting out there on the or in his office, and he hits that water main, it starts spreading water all over the place. He can see Kingpin because of the water, because he can hear where it's dropping on his body and it's painting the picture. But whenever they go and do those fucking loud noises, like whenever he goes to save fucking Elektra from getting killed by Bullseye, and the car explosion goes off. All of it looks like basically the picture he's seeing. It's split into like 500, and then like all start melding together, and he can't tell what is what or where anything is.
I can't remember the scene exactly, but I looked it up. I'm watching the fucking part where they're in the fucking church. I was like, am I thinking of this right, or am I thinking of fucking Venom? But he starts hitting those fucking pipes with the noise coming out, and fucking Daredevil's like this. He's like, he can't fucking.
And he can't see or anything. Yeah, exactly, because it overloads his senses, and he can't see where basically he turns blind. That's the only time he's actually blind, apparently.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's what we're looking at, then I could definitely get on board because, I mean, Batman. I mean, that's exactly what if you told me Batman versus him, like 100%, I'm like, well, he's gonna figure out that that's his weakness, and he's gonna use something to fucking do something. Like, I would literally guarantee that was gonna happen, basically. So having Nightwing do that doesn't surprise me at all, and I can get on board with it.
Right. Like to me, I mean, I feel like the reason obviously when Nightwing had the mask, so he kind of already had it.
Right. He had some extra tech advantage or whatever.
He had a suspicion that he was blind, but once Daredevil's like, I wish I could see your face, like that pretty much sealed the fucking deal. Like he's like, oh, well, he is fucking blind. But like, so I mean, where it comes down to between him and Batman, I would agree Batman would win that fight 10 out of 10 times. Since Daredevil doesn't have like any kind of superpowers, but I still feel like if Daredevil had superpower, it's one of those things where like, I mean, we talked about this 1,000 times, where it's like if Batman doesn't have prep, it's very hard for me to see him win a fight. But with Daredevil just being a normal human, I think Batman, with or without prep,
I don't agree with that. I think if somebody has an exploitable weakness like that, and Batman can fight them, then he's gonna figure out how to fight them. If they have an exploitable, like something that's as easily exploitable, like for example, like the shark repellent shit, like that's ridiculous, right? Like if something's super specific like that, like I wouldn't include something like that. But when it comes to something like, hey, have something that disturbs somebody who gets hurt by like really loud sounds or whatever, and they even said Nightwing has used that on regular people and it hurts them. Like not even just like people that have extra heightened like sound or whatever. Like that's just one of their gadgets that they can use. Because Batman doesn't kill people, for example. He tries to incapacitate them. That's one of the ways you can incapacitate somebody. Has like a high frequency that incapacitates them. That makes it easier for him. In a situation like this, even if Daredevil had superpowers, I think that Batman would be able to hide and avoid conflict enough until he could figure out that would be one of his weaknesses. I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. Like, if he's Superman, then no. Well, I mean, like, if he had, like...
Oh, that's why I kind of stopped what I was saying, because it's like, I mean...
I think he could beat, like...
whatever fucking superpowers he could fucking have.
But if Spider-Man... Like, if they did the Spider-Man fight again, and Spider-Man had a weakness, like, literally incapacitated by having noise like that, then I think Batman would have an advantage. I think he would figure that out eventually, and then he'd be able to use that on him. But if we're talking about, like, obviously Superman would fucking kill him in literally half a second. Like, it would be a real fight, so...
But yes, Joey, there is a scene exactly like that. It's at a construction site where he uses the whole thing against Venom. So,
because they're weak to sound too. That's gonna be it. What do you guys think of the live action?
I mean, it was good, but it kind of takes the gruesome out of Death Battle.
Yeah, it was alright.
Like I'll say this. I mean, even though we get some like real shitty ones, but for instance, you brought up the Batman versus Spider-Man one. Like when he ripped Batman in half, like all of us were like, "Oh shit!" Like I mean, we're not gonna get that.
All we seen was the guy punch him and it's like it's over. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even though the battle was okay, when you're watching live action like that, almost all the time the fucking dialogue's gonna be cringy.
The voice acting was.
It was just cringy.
Yeah,
dude,
I agree.
Where he's like, "What are you? Better."
Yeah,
like,
that was pretty bad.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I basically I agree. Like the dialogue is kind of hurt by it a little bit. You're also hurt by the epicness. Like, for example, they showed afterwards. They're like, they could both do, even though neither one of them had superpowers, they could both do blah 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 blah, right? And when they were saying that, they were showing clips of Nightwing just jumping all over the place doing crazy shit, and then Daredevil gets flung through the window and he's doing all sorts of crazy shit. And it's like, you're limited in a live action with what you're capable of doing in that scenario, especially when you don't have like $100 million CGI budget and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it also takes away a little bit from the epicness of what the characters are capable of doing. I thought for what they did, it was fine. But at the same time, it could have been.
Yeah.
If it was a real death battle, I feel like personally, I enjoy their animations and stuff like that better than even the 2D ones.
That was cool too. I mean, like whenever he fucking threw like the fucking things, like right after he did like the last flip or whatever, and he fucking threw the fucking
yeah.
The wingadings or whatever the fuck
I
they're
agree.
called.
Yeah.
The wingading things, dude.
I mean, the costumes were pretty fun, like pretty cool. I thought they were alright. Some of the like,
I mean, they looked
lighting
like
and
the
stuff like that.
characters. I
Yeah,
mean, they picked two guys that had the right builds and shit like that. They looked like the characters. It's just, yeah,
and they had a little bit of epicness in there, like when he gets up to fucking punch him in the face. But like Joey said, the dialogue is a little, just takes it out of it a little bit.
I mean, to me, the best part was definitely whenever fucking Daredevil used like the fucking cane and like smacked him in the fucking face in midair. That shit looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, I don't know if they did the stats for how fast that shit comes out at, but holy fuck.
I like the part where he hit him with electricity and Daredevil was just like, it didn't fucking phase him and hit his ass.
That was pretty dope too.
That is going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. This week, we're going to watch the one that Balrog versus DJ combo is done. We'll watch next week. Till then, stay bright. Catch you on the dark side. What's up, YouTube? Did you like that video? Then don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support us on Patreon if you want to get early access to all our series. Check out the links in the description below. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch. We post polls and play games. And as always, thanks for watching.